Diamante, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us.
Of course, thank you for
I love the
having
hair.
me.
Look at that. It's come to life.
It's come to life. It's ready to come in hot today.
Yeah, there you go. Has it been a hot tour for you? I mean, play some hot shows or what?
I just remember last summer playing these exact venues around this time. It's definitely a heater, so I'm ready. I got my shorts packed, my sunscreen. I came more prepared this time around.
Well, sometimes these bands, it's funny because they come through Detroit. It's like January 15th. I'm like, dude, why aren't you guys, playing somewhere down south right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember I once did a winter Canada tour. I was like, why are we here again? In the freaking blizzards.
Yeah, I know. That's how bands get sick and stuff. So tell us about your record. I kind of think I know what your influences are, but go ahead. Surprise me.
So I am heavily influenced by women of the 80s, Joan Jett, Pat Benatar,
Yep.
Stevie Nicks, Debbie Harry. I love classic rock in general, and then from there, I really gravitated towards the 80s. And then from there, I was like, oh my gosh, like women were doing this in the 80s? That's so cool. And I just remember thinking, like, they're so powerful and confident, and I wanted to be like them when I was a kid.
Yeah, what was your first experience with something like that?
It was actually this thing called the School of Rock. And I was about 13 at the time. I had just moved to LA. And it's like a little summer camp that preteens and teens do to get into music. And it was really the first time that I was exposed to rock music. So I was able to cover songs by Led Zeppelin, The Doors, Black Sabbath. And I just remember being on that stage and feeling a kind of energy that I never felt before in my whole life.
Now, why did you move to Los Angeles at 13? Did your parents relocate or whatever?
Yeah, it was not up to me.
Okay.
I'm from Boston originally, and I love Boston. I was actually the one out of everyone who did not want to move. I was like, no, I don't want to move. I left my friends, my school. And 2 weeks in, I was like, I love it. LA's great. And just, started playing shows on the Sunset Strip when I was 14. Started meeting up with producers, writing original music. So it's been like a 7-year thing at this point.
So what do your parents think when you're 14 playing in the Sunset Strip? I mean, my brother was 16 one time playing in Buffalo, and I had to go into the bar and make sure he didn't get beat up or anything.
At the beginning, they were definitely with me all the time. They're super supportive, and I'm very grateful. Without them, I definitely would not be here right now. My mom at the beginning I call her my momager. She's like half mom, half manager, and she was always super cool with it. And my parents have always said, do what you love and just, don't do something that people expect you to do. Just do what you want to do.
Now, have you had a chance to meet any of your idols?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have not met Joan Jett yet.
Okay.
And that's like my bucket list.
I met Lita Ford here one time, and she
You
couldn't have
did?
been nicer.
Oh my God. I'm so jealous of you right now.
Lita
I love
Ford
her.
is so great, and I never met Pat Benatar or nothing, but or Stevie Nicks for that matter. But yeah, Lita was awesome. So
If I met any of these women, I think I would cry, die, come back to life again, cry again, and just repeat the cycle.
Now, you were telling me about your band before we started. So did you put this band together? Is this band you play with in Los Angeles, or how's that work?
Yeah, so because I'm a solo artist, I write the music with songwriters and producers. But when I go out on tour, I love having the full rock band, obviously the sound. So back in LA, I hold auditions, and I had a big round of auditions for this summer tours, and had like 30 bass players, 10 guitar players. I've had the same drummer for a while now, and this lineup I think is the money lineup.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you. So how hard is it to get used to playing with different musicians?
It can be difficult, especially because everyone has a different personality. So for me, obviously, I want them to be able to play their instrument, but I also look for people who are chill, that I can get along with,
Right.
that have had touring experience
Right.
before.
Yeah,
That's
because
very
people
important.
they don't realize you're living on a bus with these people, and you got to be able to get along with them.
So when I sent out the mass email to the auditionees, I said, if you hate touring, don't even bother showing up because I don't want to hear it. Because I love touring.
Now, we talked about some of the rockers from the 80s and whatnot. What do you think about some of the, some of the current, the Lizzie Hales and stuff like that?
Love them.
Yeah.
It's funny because I grew up in high school coming home every day just pissed off at the world because I did not like my high school experience. I was kind of a loner. And I would come home from school and I would just put Hailstorm and The Pretty Reckless and I'd just be super mad and just listen to that all day. So it's like full circle.
Have you met those guys?
I have not yet, no.
I'm not going to tell you Taylor Momsen and Lizzie follow me on Twitter, but no, I'm just kidding.
Did they?
Yeah. Okay, so listen, they'll follow you too one day. How about that?
I'm in.
I'm going to tweet them to follow you.
All right.
All right.
I love it. I love it.
So what can people expect when they see you on stage, and what can they expect when they listen to your record?
I feel like the live experience is basically the record on steroids,
Okay.
which I love. Live music to me is what I fell in love with to begin with. You can expect from the live performance just 150% energy. You just see like a windmill of blue hair constantly the whole time. You see me like dripping in sweat. My guys are giving it their all, and it's just like we kind of just lose ourselves. And that's what I love about performing in general.
I was going to say, you got to go out there and try to win over this crowd who may not know who you are.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you know what is funny about that is I love the challenge. I love walking into a crowd who's like, who's this chick? Come on. And then second song, and they're like, I see the head bobbins. And I'm like, okay. And then by the end of the set, you know, they're in it.
This is kind of like a hack question. I'm kind of almost embarrassed to ask it because I have asked other women before, but it's like, do you feel because you are a female, you have to work extra harder?
It's funny, when I'm up there, I don't really think about that.
No.
No, I don't. It's just in my brain, I don't think of myself as a female rocker. I just think of myself as a rocker.
Right.
You know? And if people have their own perceptions, that's on them. You know, I just do what I love, and I get up there and I do my best, and I'm happy afterwards.
All right, final thing here for you. Give me a great piece of advice a fellow rocker gave you.
Ooh, a fellow rocker gave me. I consider them a rocker because they've been in the rock scene for so long and they've cultivated so many bands. But my producer, Howard Benson, who did my first album,
Wow.
Coming In Hot, I think the biggest piece of advice he gave me for songwriting especially is be vulnerable. Go to the place that you're afraid to go to and put yourself out on the table, because that's the stuff that people relate to when they listen to music.
And you feel like you did that with your first record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, way more than I thought I would have, because that's really difficult for me to do. Like the party, rock anthems, you know, the fun stuff, no problem. But as soon as like I got to get in my feelings, it's hard.
So did you have stuff written and then he's like, no, we got to push this farther?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like an 18-month writing process.
Man, working with Howard Benson, I mean, he's legendary.
Legend.
Yeah, that's so
Taught me a
cool.
lot.
You got to feel blessed.
I do. Yeah. Album number 1. Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Well, listen, thanks so much for taking the time out here with us. Good luck on stage today. It's great to meet you.
Thank you so
I
much.
had to
Thank
go
you
get
for
my
having me.
Hair dyed some certain color, I think, right?
Blue. Do blue.
It's not going to happen.